Hi guys, this is AJ. Today we will see about katakana writing script. Let us start about katakana script by comparing it with hiragana script for better understanding. You can see hiragana letter chart in the left side and katakana letter chart on the right side. First, let us see the common points between hiragana and katakana writing scripts. Okay, both are writing scripts of Japanese language. Both has 46 letters and pronunciation of all 46 letters are same. Now let us see what are the difference between these two scripts. Hiragana script letters are used for writing words originated from Japan. Means to write all the Japanese words we use hiragana letters, whereas katakana is used to write foreign originated words. For example, watashi. This word means myself, me. Okay. Since this word is developed from Japan, we use hiragana letters to write. Same way, the word coffee is originated from foreign countries and not from Japan. So, to write the word coffee, we use katakana letters. Now, please make a note that we can even write coffee with hiragana letters also, since the pronunciations are same. But that is not the standard way. Okay. For more clarity, let us see one more example. The word pizza, as many of you know, that this word has its origin in Italy. So, from a Japanese perspective, this word is a foreign originated or foreign born word. So, he will use only katakana letters to write the word pizza. I hope everyone is clear with the difference on hiragana and katakana writing scripts. Now, let us proceed with the katakana chart. As explained earlier, there are 46 primary letters with same soundings of hiragana letters. Let us see the formation. The top row is filled with vowels and the left column is filled with the consonant series letters. Now, to create K soundings, okay, to create the K soundings, you have to merge the K with the vowels in the top. Okay, K plus A gives Ka, and to get key you have to merge K plus E gives key, K plus U gives ku, K plus A gives K, K plus O gives ko. So by which now you will be getting all the K sounding syllables. Same way, to get S soundings, T soundings, N soundings, H soundings, M soundings, Y soundings, R soundings and W soundings, you have to do the same procedure, same like you have to merge the soundings consonant with the vowels in the top, by which you will get each soundings. Please make a note, which I have already explained. N is a special consonant which doesn't depend on any vowels. On any doubts in this chart formation, I request you to watch my previous hiragana video where I have explained in details on various doubts which might be arising. In this section, we are going to see on dakwan and andakwan. The high pitch sounding syllables are usually called as dakwan and low pitch sounding syllables are called as andakwan. This is same as a hiragana which I have explained previously, except here we need to use quotation type markings and circle markings for katakana letters. Okay, to explain in detail. Okay, high pitch soundings are nothing but the soundings with high tone, for example ga, za, ji, zu, likewise, which has a high pitch. Okay, same way, the low sounding or low pitch is nothing but pa, pi, pu. Those are all sounding syllables are short pitch, right? It ends very soon. Pa, pi, pu. So those are called as andakwan. Now in this example shown over here, you can see there is no separate letters for these andakwan and dakwan. Instead of that, you have to use the existing letters along with a small marking like a quotation type marking or a circle marking. You can see in the example letter ka when added with a quotation type markings. So when the letter ka is written along with a quotation mark at the right top corner, that then you have to pronounce that as ga instead of ka. So if there is no quotation type of markings in above right hand side above, then you have to pronounce it as ka. If there is quotation type marking, then you have to pronounce it as ga. Same way, another example sa. So when there is no quotation type markings in the above, then you have to pronounce that as sa. If you are finding any quotation type of markings, then you have to pronounce that as za. Okay, so this is the quotation type marking which has been mentioned in the top right corner. Same way for short pitch soundings, here you can see ha, okay, plus a small circle marking, then it has to be pronounced as pa instead of ha. So if there is no circle, then it has to be pronounced as ha. So this is the dakwan and andakwan. So below is the chart shown over here. So below is the chart shown for dakwan and andakwan on the right hand side, and in the left hand side the chart which is shown is from which letter the formation of high pitch and low pitch soundings are formed. For example, in left hand side you can see K sounding syllables. So these helps in forming G line sounding syllables. So ka, when there is a quotation type marking, when added with the quotation type marking, it gives ga. Ki plus quotation type markings gives gi. Ku plus quotation type markings gives ku. So same way, sa means yes sounding syllables supports with the quotation type markings gives Z series, za series soundings. Same way, T sounding syllables on addition to quotation type markings gives D sounding syllables. Okay, for short pitch, ha is used for both high pitch and short pitch. If quotation type of markings given above H sounding syllables, it will be pronounced as high pitch ba, b, boo, be. Same way, if there is a circle instead of quotation type of markings means, then it has to be pronounced as pa, pi, pu, pe. You can see the difference. So both as are developed from H sounding syllables, but when it is mentioned with the quotation type markings, it has to be pronounced in a high pitch tone, and when it has been given with a circle type of marking, then it has to be pronounced in low pitch sounding. That is the difference. Yun. These are contracted sounds. These are combination of E sounding E column syllables with small ya, u or yo. These soundings are nothing but soundings like kya, kyo, kyo, cho, shya. Likewise, those are called as contracted sounds. Means we are contracting our vocal to create this new soundings. So example shown over here, ki plus ya. Okay, to create a soundings called kya. But please make sure that the second ya has to be mentioned in a small letter. You can see the difference over there. In the kya, ki would have been as a bigger letter and ya would have been mentioned in a smaller letter. So that can be pronounced to be kya. Ki plus u, you can see q. The second letter u is mentioned in a halfway small condition. So by which you can understand that this has to be pronounced as Q. If you write that second letter ya, u, yo little or equivalent size to the first letter, then it will be read in a different way. Ki plus ya, right? So it won't be mentioned read as Q. So this is the condition. Let us see the chart of contracted sounds. So in this chart you can see the top row has been mentioned with ya, you, yo, which is the merging condition soundings. In left hand side, the leftmost column, you can see E column syllables I have mentioned like ki. All are E sounding syllables. Ki, she, chi, ni, likewise. Okay. So when these merged with the top soundings, we get different contracted sounds. To create these contracted sounds, we have to do this. Let us see some examples on the same. So now to get kya, we have to merge ki plus ya. We get kya. And same way to get q, we have to merge ki plus u. We get q. Same way for q, we have to merge ki plus yo. We get q. So this is the same criteria. This conditions has to be applied for she. So we will get sha. She plus ya, we get sha. She plus you, we get shu. She plus yo, we get show. Okay. The same with the same condition, if you are applying for all the E column syllables of different line consonants, you will get these contracted sounds of different line consonants. Okay. So Kwan. So Kwan or double consonants occurs when a syllable is to be stressed in pronunciation. Okay. Let us see the examples. The words accident, occasion. You can see the same letter has been repeated twice just to make sure that there is a stress in the pronunciation by which it can obtain the right meaning. Okay, accident, occasion. So this condition is called as Sokwan. So converting the same condition to katakana, in katakana to obtain this stress condition, we use su letter, but here that su has to be written in half sized condition. Okay, it should be a small su. So whenever in a word, if you are seeing a half sized su or small sized su, you should make sure to stress the next letter. So here in the example, pe plus small su plus to should be pronounced as petto. Okay, please make sure that if you are not stressing, okay, instead of making a stress, if you are using that as a su means it might give some other meaning. So you should make sure to give the right stress by which you will get the right meaning, petto. So this is Sokwan or double consonants. Let's move with the Chuan. Chuan is nothing but the elongated syllable. Okay. So through example I will explain Chuan. You can see the word speed. So in this letter, this word you can see the letter E has been used twice. Here the requirement of writing the letter twice is there is a requirement for elongation of the sounding E. Speed, right? If there is only one E means it might be read as sped. So the elongation requirement is called as Chuan soundings. So converting that into katakana, in katakana this elongation is denoted by a small short line. Okay, so whenever in a word you are seeing a small short line, then you should make sure to elongate the previous vowel sounding. Here su, pi, do, right? So the short line previous to the short line is P. So you have to elongate the sounding E. Supido. So this is called as Chuan. That's it for today about Katakana writing script. Thanks for